New York State's 10-member Independent Redistricting Commission met virtually today. They're tasked with redrawing the state's legislative and congressional district lines. News Channel 34's Karina Capabianca has more on what goes into that process.
Back in 2014, voters in New York approved a ballot proposal amending the state constitution to create an independent redistricting commission to come up with the lines for congressional, state assembly, and state senate seats. Those lines are determined every 10 years following the census count.
It's not fully independent because the majority of the commissioners are appointed by the legislature, but it is separate and apart from the legislature in its functioning and in its role in the redistricting process.
The commission is still in its early stages. Much of today's discussion was about leadership roles, bylaws, and public outreach. No agreement on chair roles was reached today.
I do think that having two chairs, whether it's co-chairs or a chair and vice chair that have equal power, is probably the way to go, because again, this is a bipartisan commission. There's already bipartisan co-executive directors. It kind of makes sense to have bipartisan chairs, but it's up to the commission at the end of the day. This is our first go at this. They get to decide what they want to do.
They did agree to begin putting together a website for public information. Wilson says the maps they create will need to be available to the public in September, and they will need to hold public hearings. The deadline to have their final maps to the legislature to be voted on for approval is January 1st of 2022.
So in between that timeline, this basic whole year is going to be them looking at the census counts, working with local community groups and individuals on figuring out what these new maps are going to look like.
Today, the commission did agree to try to have a website live and open for public input by mid-January. In Albany, Karina Capabianca,